I was born as Lorene Morse. My dad was a Morse, because my grandpa was a Morse. My dad, Luther Morse. Mama's name was Nancy Leaf. She was part Creek.
Where were you born? Where would you call that?
Vian, Mars Van, up there on the mountain, way up there, between Mars, Vian and Evening Shade. As we grew older, and we moved to Webbers Falls, where Daddy worked for this man farming.
When you were little, what kind of games did you play?
Baking mud pie cakes. When I was allowed to get out of the house, when it was muddy, we weren't allowed to get out there because Mama couldn't do the laundry like she wished that she could. We'd get our clothes so nasty. I had a doll that was given to me at Marsh Van School.
Did you like that doll?
Oh yes, because that was the only doll I ever owned. That was the last thing they gave us. And they tried to give us clothes, but the clothes that they tried it on us, they were either too big or too little. And my sister was the only one that fit into the clothes that they brought.
How old were you when you started making the dolls?
Oh, 5. About 5. Mama started showing me how to make the dolls and how to sew. So it took me a while to learn how to sew with a needle and how to hang on to the needle. I wanted to make as many dolls as I could, so I could feel like I could say that I got a bunch of babies. I got a bunch of kids here, you know. I couldn't give them away because the other kids had their own type of toys. I could find needles, little bits of thread, when they swept the floor. And I told the daughter, when you sweep the floor, kind of look around, see if you can find a needle for me. Because Mama wouldn't let me have hers. On our way out of the yard to go home, I would look at the trash pile where she swept the floor and dumped the trash out here. And I'd find a needle with the thread on it, and I would give it to Mama and say, Mom, will you hold this? Stick it to your shirt, your blouse. And she did. So sometimes I'd end up about 4 or 5 rusty needles. And that's what I used to make my doll dresses. As I became a mother, I made some dolls for my children, for my little girls, because I couldn't afford to buy a doll for them, so I made them for them. How we got around, we walked. Wherever we went, we walked. So that's where we had been to Vian to visit Grandma up there at Marsh Van, my grandmother, Mama's mom, Nellie Leaf.
Did you guys speak Cherokee in your house?
Uh-huh, yeah.
Did you grow up with that?
Yes.
And now when you went to school?
I still spoke both languages. When Dad got a job at the sawmill between Salisaw and Vian, we stayed with the sawmill, and we walked from that McKee, I think they called it McKee Hill, but that we walked, no matter what kind of ground we had to walk on. The hardest thing to do was to walk in that mud. And if I tried to dodge that mud away from the road, end up getting stuck in the mud. I was pretty small. We cooked for my uncle's family, because Uncle Jesse's wife was making quilts in the front room. And there was no food on the table in the kitchen. So she let us do the cooking. We made a mess, she told Mom. They made a mess, but they done a good job of cooking. They cooked beans, and they made biscuits, and they put them in the oven. We cooked for everybody. And I was just 7, I guess. Our mother did not let us mess in the kitchen because she didn't want the food to go to waste. Because she seen that kitchen at my Uncle Jesse's house. She saw that, and she didn't want me and or any other kid there to be caught up in it. I turned 9 before we moved away from Weber's Falls, before the flood. I had just turned 9, and that's when they transported us from home to Gore School, so we could camp out at Gore School. The water didn't go into our house. It needed to go that much more just to get in the house. Well, the Army boys came over and they took care of us. They did the cooking, everything. And my sister tried to help, and she washed the dishes for them, and whatever pots and pans they needed washed, they'd get the girls to do that because they offered the help. In the wintertime, Dad, well, I wish I could say Dad had killed a rabbit or a squirrel, but no, Mama did. I don't know how she did it. If she ever found a feed sack, flour sack, something that was big enough to make a dress. Sometimes she had a flour sack, but it was too little to make my dress, so she would make somebody a shirt that's growing up behind me. How she managed to do that, I don't know. I mean, sometimes she would find a trash pile somewhere, and she would find a little shirt, a big man's shirt, a dress for her. You know, this is when she dug up in the trash herself. My first pair of shoes was, I think, they were big shoes, big dress-up slippers for a grown-up woman. 'Cause she gave me that pair because she felt sorry for me. I didn't have no shoes. Then I wore them to march band school, and I made all kinds of noise when I walk inside the schoolhouse or go outside. But they all finally got used to me walking like that, making that noise. Yeah, I loved them because the heels were about like that. And they fit me good.